Hey everybody, welcome back to Tim Travels. It's Terry, your host. So I've had some people reach out to me about maybe training them once I get like certified to train. And so in order to maybe answer some questions of people that are interested for whatever reason, whether they like my videos or they like old bald guys or whatever, I thought I'd do a little tour of the truck to kind of manage expectations and tell people what to expect when they get on a truck. And most of this information is going to be valuable for anybody regardless of whose truck they go on. So first I'm going to show you around the truck. I know a lot of people that come into this industry have never been in a big truck, so they don't really have a sense of what's in there. And I kind of look at my truck as like a ship, in that it's tight quarters and everything kind of has its place. So I'm just going to kind of start at the front and work my way around and just show you what's up, and also show you stuff that I have in here that's going to be gone when I get a trainee, including Beatrice. So this is the front. This is above the middle of the dash. This is where a CB is supposed to go. I, however, use it to store napkins and some rescue tape, because those things seem more valuable to me than the CB. And then this top compartment, I keep plastic bags in there that I use for trash, because I don't like trash piling up. And I legit have seen people with trash piled up to like the height of the doors, like above the height of the doors in their trucks. I mean, it's incredible actually. Up above, there's some storage up here. Got a couple of ball caps, wipes. Got my safety vest over there. I keep a lot of wipes around. So there's a storage compartment above the driver's seat, and then there's space up on top. Another storage compartment, space up on top. As you come down, there's two more storage compartments. Now, the bottom storage compartment, which is actually down here, and we got a little desk thing that pulls out. That storage compartment has to give up some space for the APU, so there's like the vent running through there. And I also want to apologize, the place is a little messy. I'm going to be going home this week. So this thing is Beatrice's food, and then you can see her food bowls down here, right? And then I have weights that I have always had in the truck, but I'm going to get rid of those so we have some more floor space. So all this stuff, the food bowls, the dog food, the weights is all going to be gone, and I'm actually going to get some what do you call those? The straps. I'm so dumb, I can't remember stuff. It's Alzheimer's set in. So on the top bunk, obviously I would get a mattress up here. I won't have, like the bike tire, cleaning supplies. I got all sorts of crap up here. I got my stash of Diet Coke. That's a non-negotiable. That has to stay. I'll probably get rid of my crock pot, but I don't know yet. I got my stash of iced tea. I also got a lot of my cycling gear, my shoes. I got my cycling shoes for a bike that I don't even have on the truck. I got a bike on the back of the truck, but it doesn't have clip-in pedals. So there's storage up here. Like when I was a trainee, I kept my world just on that top bunk. And you want to bring soft-sided luggage so it can be moved around. You don't want some suitcase, because then it's just it's in the way or whatever. The other thing, so that was just my little world. I had my shelf. I didn't have any compartments. I just had stuff on the bunk when I wasn't in it. I had a shelf, and then I had a cooler, and that would set on the floor. And then here's another storage compartment, microwave, fridge, and I probably, because I'm a pretty egalitarian kind of guy, I'll probably share like part of one door shelf with any trainee so they can bring food. another storage compartment here, some storage up on top, although you got to secure stuff up there. And then, so I said, you know, I've thought about it. Where could I got to provide at least one compartment for, you know, the trainee, and I want them to have plenty of room because we're gonna be on the road a lot. So what I've decided is to give them this compartment. I'll go ahead and clear those manuals out. That's probably crap I don't need, like a hazmat manual anyway. So yeah, so they'll get that whole compartment to themselves. And that's right over the passenger seat. So yeah, so I think that's a good synopsis. But anyway, and then so let's talk, and then we'll talk about some other stuff here in a sec. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, it's actually been a couple of days. What? So B and I are now in Pennsylvania, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. Capital is Harrisburg. Largest city is Philadelphia, city of brotherly love. And the most beloved football team in the state is, of course, Penn State. So I wanted to talk for a minute about kind of get a little serious about what I'm doing with training and stuff like that. So, and by the way, I'm wearing a shirt from another company because I'm gonna be starting home time tomorrow, and I haven't done laundry in a while. So all my Prime shirts, I'm trying to transition to Prime shirts. All my Prime shirts are dirty. But I wanted to get a little bit serious about training, and you know, kind of update people, because I've had several people asking me about seeing if they could train with me or if our schedules mesh and stuff. So let me just answer this. I'm going on home time starting tomorrow. Then I'm coming back out on the 24th. I will be in Springfield on the 30th to start my training to be a trainer. So I'll be in Springfield all that week, and hopefully pair up with a student at the end of that week. That's the idea. And I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know if that's going to be a PSD pairing or if it's going to be a TNT. I've kind of already said my piece about PSD, but I'm not gonna reject the system out of hand. I'm gonna try to make it work for the trainee and for me in an efficient way to get them their CDL as soon as possible. So anyway, that's my schedule. And I wanted to mention a couple of things about a couple of requirements that I have. I've mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. I'm not going to have a trainee on my truck. And by the way, I don't want to sound negative about anybody who doesn't fit into my requirements. It's just personal preference. But I don't want anybody that's a smoker or a vapor. The reason I say that is that it's just not, you know, I grew up around smokers. I'm not anti-smoker. I mean, I don't think it's a great habit, certainly, but I'm not anti-smoker. I just don't want it on my truck. I don't want, and even people that say, oh, I would never smoke in the truck, I smoke outside. People that smoke smell like smoke. It's in their hair, it's on their clothes, it's on their skin, and then it gets in the truck. And even though I don't own this truck, when somebody smokes in a vehicle, it devalues the vehicle. Like, I can tell immediately if I get into a vehicle, if somebody has smoked in there, even if they've done the ionic whatever pentameter. Just kidding about that. But if that's been done, I I can still smell it, and that's not a vehicle that I would accept to buy or lease or whatever. So that's that. And then the second thing is they must be fully vaccinated for coronavirus and be able to show it, be able to prove it. And here's the reasons for that. Again, people make whatever choices they want to make, and I'm okay with that. But I'm also running a business, and if I have somebody on my truck that's not vaccinated for coronavirus, and I have to go to areas like I've been in the past week, like Alabama, Mississippi, other places on the Gulf Coast, where, like Louisiana, etc., where the coronavirus, the Delta variant is really taking over, and there are no, there's a paucity of medical facilities, generally speaking, in some of these areas, but then in terms of like critical care beds, it's even less. If I have somebody on my truck that gets exposed and gets sick, then I have to figure out what to do with them, right? Because I have an obligation to somebody to make sure that they're not, that they have medical attention. And even if you have a mild case of it, like it's just like the flu, if you've ever tried to drive even a car while you have the flu, especially on a road trip, you know that this is not a seat you want to be in while you're sick with the flu. Okay? And candidly, I don't want you to be in this seat while you're sick with the flu. That's just shut down and go to bed for a couple of days, and then let your fleet manager know that you're ready to get back on the road because you feel a little better. Okay? I don't want to have to deal with that in large part because this truck it's a money-making asset, and it only makes money when the wheels are turning, generally speaking. So that's part of it. The other part of it is that I would then have to find medical facilities. If the person was very, very sick, I would have to find medical facilities either where we were, and then if they're admitted to the hospital, then what do I do? It's not like I can hang around. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't like sit in the hospital, right? So they're either going to be at a hospital that's away from where they live, which I can't imagine anybody would want to be. Even if you can't have a lot of visitors, you'd at least like to be close to home, I assume. Or I got to at least try to get them home, which means I got to, maybe switch loads with somebody or do whatever. So logistically, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare from the prospect of running a business. And I know that sounds mercenary, but then again, it is, right? It's like we're running a business, and if somebody's, like when I had my law firm, if somebody was really sick, I'd be like, oh, just come in when you feel better. That I never had any issue, like we didn't even have a sick time policy. We're just like, if you need a month off, take a month off, right? Like we would just, like one time we had a guy with ulcers, and he and I had other people with medical problems. I don't have any problem with people taking off when they're sick. I want them to. So that's the one reason. The other reason is, or maybe that's two reasons, right? Money and their health and safety. And then the other reason is also a little bit self-serving or not altruistic, is I have adult children that have autoimmune issues, autoimmune deficiencies, and while I'm fully vaccinated and I wear a mask everywhere I go, like if I go into this truck stop, I wear a mask, I don't want to bring anything home to my family, and I don't want to be in a position where I am diagnosed with, let's say I was diagnosed with a very mild breakthrough coronavirus, you know, because I am vaccinated, I still would have to quarantine. I still couldn't go see my wife or my kids, and I don't want that. I mean, I stay out a long time, and so I try to protect myself so I can go hang out with them when I do get home. So those are the two, you know, those are the two big things: smoking and vaccination. Some general advice here for any trainee that's going to come on a truck: bring soft-sided luggage. Be prepared for any weather. If you live if you're from Florida, let's say, go out right now, you know, as soon as you get to training and as soon as you get a little bit of money, go to, you know, Fleet Farm or Tractor Supply Company, or maybe even Walmart, because it's starting to get towards fall, even though it's hot as hell in a lot of places. Go get a good, like, Carhartt hoodie. You're gonna want gloves. You know, you're gonna want gloves for cold, and you're gonna want gloves for work, like pumping fuel and stuff like that. Be prepared for any weather, because yeah, it's the middle of August, but by the time somebody gets on my truck, it'll be actually the 1st of September. It'll already be close to carrying chain weather out west, right? Because I think 30 September, or I mean, the 1st of October, you got to have chains on your truck to be legal in Colorado. And I can tell you from experience that by October, somewhere you're going to see snow by the middle of October. I've been in some pretty hellacious snowstorms in the middle of October. So, you know, we're going to be in the snow. If somebody's coming on my truck for 30,000 miles, guaranteed we're going to be in the snow. So you just got to be prepared for it. And it's easier to prepare and just bring the stuff with you. I don't have my heaviest winter clothes on the truck right now, but I will when I leave. But I still have all my, like, winter gloves. I have several hoodies. I have long pants, snow boots. All that stuff just stays on the truck. I mean, it gets washed, but then it gets put back on the truck. So anyway, my email address is out there. If you're interested in coming on board, you know, just shoot me a message. Now you know my schedule, and we can figure out what works. And I am also, by the way, I've got on order a dash cam that also includes an inward-facing camera. And I know I've done videos in the past about having driver-facing cameras, and people got all butthurt that I didn't care. Really, the reason I'm getting this inward-facing camera is so that if there's a female that wants to be on my truck, then we have something that will protect both of us. So, you know, obviously, if somebody's changing, they close the curtain, but an inward-facing camera will help give everybody peace of mind, I hope, because it'll record sound and everything too. So I don't want anybody to be uncomfortable on my truck. I mean, other than the bad roads, that's kind of like you're just getting tossed around. That's not fun. But anyway, so that's it. If you got questions, or if there's stuff that you're interested in knowing that I haven't talked about, I'll be glad to answer those. The other thing that anybody that rides with me needs to be prepared for, if they're not somebody that's like my age, there are going to be days where you hear some dad jokes and some, you know, dad jokes, bad puns, goofy stories. Just be prepared for it. Maybe you can just get a headset and pretend like you're talking to somebody or whatever. Also, if you got a CB and you want to bring it because you want to be a real trucker, that's fine. We can, I think we can plug it in. I got cables up here for something. And I'll probably, I actually probably will have at least a handheld one. I don't know if I want something hanging down right here all the time, some giant microphone cord, but I'm gonna get a handheld one at least for this winter. All right, so stay safe. I'll talk to you soon. Sorry, the last video took forever to load up. I shot it on Sunday. I think it just loaded up this morning, but that's because I was in, seriously, Mississippi. I never have any kind of reception down there, and then I was moving, and it was raining hard, and I don't know. So apologize for that. Anyway, stay safe, and I will talk to you next time on Tim Travels. Bye.